Hey guys, welcome to Switzerland in the field session. So I had this idea like this week, why don't we just go out there and film the entire section so you see all the steps we do. So I haven't been to this spot, I just heard about it. And the goal of today is, you see this massive mountain. I don't have the quad here with me to fly all the way up, that would be like more than 2 kilometers. And it's also pretty cold, so I don't want to risk too much for the masterclass. But still I will take some risk, and you see like in the middle there is like this little peak. So I'm gonna fly down, and you can already see from the left there's like the fog coming over the lake. And yeah, let's get something cinematic. So let's talk quickly about the setup. So what you see here is like by True RC, the 4 patch antenna, because I'm gonna fly probably 2 kilometers and then maybe 800 meters to 1 kilometer up. So to be on the safe side, and because I know I'm gonna fly all the way in front of me, I'm gonna have this patch antenna. And what I will do, literally, I just point to that direction and get kind of a movement. So I know that I have to basically turn my head. I don't gonna fly behind me, that's why I don't need the Omni antennas. Yes, so I warmed up the batteries because I have them in my pocket because it's pretty cold, and I don't want to put too much pressure on these batteries. Okay, I have to take off these. All right. If you ask yourself why I have this duct tape on my GoPro, there is a reason for that. I lost basically my other GoPro and that whole clamp which basically holds the GoPro, so I had to find a solution. Alright. What I'm flying here is now by Tattoo Lipo a 1800 milliamp battery. It's the thing I use for all my long range. It's ready. Alright, so what just happened is I forgot actually my prop tools. And that's also a reminder, there is always something happening with FPV. I'm constantly forgetting like antennas or these tools, so I highly advise you, based on my fails in the past, I would advise you to basically write a checklist, which could be really helpful. Alright. I'm gonna make that tight. Alright, so I'm gonna dive that mountain. Oh, now it's really nice. We can already see the fog coming over the lake. So I know I'm gonna probably fly around 30 degrees because I'm gonna dive down the mountain. So I will put my GoPro to an angle of 30 degrees. Alright, let's put the GoPro on, have my SD card in there, have an ND8. And it looks pretty good. Yeah, and also I will put in the description, have the GoPro Labs firmware. That's basically a firmware which works better with Real Steady. It's you can also like have more options when it comes to settings. So I'm gonna fly 4K, a 4x3, 30 frames per second, stabilization off, GPS off, shutter 160s. Bitrate to high, ISO locked to 100. I'm gonna have sharpness high and also 5500 Kelvin. So it's looking good. Let's make sure again. I'm actually wondering if that duct tape holds the GoPro. Make that tight. It's not really tight. Fuck. It's minus 1 degree Celsius. Alright. So let's put the controller on, flying with crossfire with 50 Hertz, have that True RC antenna. I explained that in my tutorial, I really prefer that one. And basically don't think that this part is like, you shouldn't face like this like big surface towards the drone. It's like, it's basically like this, thing here. So that part. Alright, making sure that arming, that the quad is not like armed. Let's plug it in. So what it does now is it needs to find at least 8 satellites. That's important. And during that time I make sure that this thing is like rock solid. Flying, this one has a divergent on, if you're wondering. You don't have to, especially for that distance. It would totally work without, but just I have it inside because I have done like big long range with that quad. So I have seen sometimes, so you can only start when you have like 7 to 8 satellites. You can disable that, but then the GPS probably not working correctly. So until like it finds the satellites, I use that time to just like warm up my hands. It's so cold. Jesus Christ. I can also make a feeling myself tutorial. Okay, 5 satellites. So again, the antenna is like 120 degrees, so I have a slight angle between them, and I know now I'm gonna want to fly on that peak. 8 satellites. Can you tell me in case my head is not correct? So I'm gonna set 3 points. One is top of the mountain, or like the peak, the small peak, the middle, and let's call it cloud. So it's basically that's the 3 angle I have to hold with my head, and I have to remember that. And I always do kind of getting like the feeling for it, because when you fly and you focus on battery and everything, that might be a bit confusing. Okay, let me check one thing. Yeah. Antennas are correct. Flying with 700 milliwatts here. That looks so dope with the fog. So I'm gonna cruise with like 7 amps. Is my head okay, Marvin? Mm-hmm. I'm now a little bit over the lake. We have to point a little bit more up. I'm like in the middle of the small mountain. Do I have to point more up with my head? Yeah, like this. See, that's always, you should anyway fly with a spotter, otherwise it's not legal. And also the spotter can help you to basically have a good 3.8 volts per cell, 22.1. I'm halfway upwards to the peak. Just a point more up. Getting closer to the peak. All right. When you go up, you can see that the voltage is dropping rapidly. All right. Reached the summit. Now diving down. In the middle of the mountain now. Towards the bottom. Right, coming back now, I have 21.4 volts, so it's quite critical with the temperature, and the range was almost 2 kilometers, and the kilometer up. Alright. That's it. Shortly celebration. We brought the drone back. It was quite critical from the voltage. I mean, it's 1700, but I really can feel that it's cold. So let's check back the footage real quick. Plug that out. You can hear that beeper. That's how you turn it off. You wait until you hear like 3 beeps. It's not the craziest, but I also didn't want it to push, so I go all the way up. And let's see what we can do better. And I saw like these 2 rocks. I wouldn't say it's the world-class cruise, but I would do like maybe one more. Now I know like my line. Now I know that I can do it from a range. I know that I can do it from a battery perspective. Like I know now a little bit my line. So what I can do like next time, I can really like improve the shots. Like meaning I know where I can fly, where I cannot fly. I know now where I can basically go closer, where I have to stay more away. So yeah, let's try it again. Alright, welcome back after 3 crashes with my freestyle drone. Looked like the freestyle drone, there was something wrong. It just fell out of the sky. No comment. But I can already tell you, FPV is an ongoing project and you will crash all the time. But you should definitely buy a freestyle drone. To exactly go a little bit more risky and learn like the maneuvers and everything. Now we're going to do freestyle with this one. It's actually a heavy battery plus GoPro, but I think it could look nice. So let's see. Yeah. All right. 4th trial now. Oh yeah, of course this has to find satellites. So usually the first time it takes longer until the satellite, like the GPS finds your location, and if you then like use it like the second time or third time, it's much faster. And make sure that cable is all the way in. I just pulled it out and then I saw black and my drone crashed. Try different maneuvers, the ones you want to then use, like when you go long range. For example, you turn and you fly backwards, or you can also try like power loops to get that feeling, or like these movements, like you turn 180 degrees and let it fall to get a feeling with the angle. Learn these punches and then try to dive the way straight down. Maybe do it one more time, like punch and dive down the tree to get that feeling. Try front flips and hold it. Try to go a little bit closer to objects to get used to that response. Try to play a little bit with objects. Alright, I have to land. Maybe one more punch. And then straight try to dive down. Alright, then land soon. Nice. Alright, so what I just flew now, with what frame I did freestyle because I crashed the other, is like that X-hover frame, which I really like with the X shape and its light. It's a really cinematic frame, as I said, and you can have like basically put the GoPro or like attach the GoPro to like all four sides if you want, which is really nice. So I really like this this quad in general by X-hover, and to be honest, I have like not a lot of vibration. It's like really good to tune, works perfectly with these motors. They also have like ready to just basically put the battery on and go fly, so ready to fly drones in their store, which is really nice. Unfortunately, I didn't have time like to bring out the quad by House of Drones, the ones I showed with the T-motor motors. And now what I'm gonna try is that super long range 7-inch quad by iFlight. X-hover now also released a a 7-inch drone. Looks like everybody is going more to towards like the 7-inch frames. In general, like a comment to iFlight, I haven't flew iFlight that much in the past or like at all. What I have heard also from other people is they are probably the cheaper option out there. Like they're come really with a good price, like 500 or like even less. Like the Nazgul or some other models are like $200-300, which is really nice. And if you get into the hobby, maybe it makes sense to maybe not the 7-inch, but I would go with like a 5-inch, like these $300-400 drones, and you can risk a little bit. Like you can do that freestyle. And you can risk much more because it's not that expensive, and they fly great, so that's not an issue at all. And then the X-Hover, these ready-to-fly drones, they're more expensive, and I would say like more on the professional side. So if you a professional FPV pilot, I would probably go with the X-Hover models. But I'm gonna now test this 7-inch drone with the massive props and see how it's going to behave. I will do some other long range in the future, but since I just got it recently or yesterday, I have to basically do some changes on the rates, the pits, and maybe also on the GoPro I want to put up, because yeah, that's the way I customize every drone. All right. Let's put these props on and let's see. Alright, what I'm gonna do now is I take away the patch antennas, because I want it, like with the next flight, I want to test the crystal antennas by iFlight. They just sent me this, like their new antenna. It's called Crystal, and the great thing is you can literally, it looks almost like it's out of the factory like that. And what they like, I think it's a really smart solution, because you just take basically the case, the stock case away, and you just put that antenna of them like on. And how it works is these two are basically patch antennas, and they already have like this little angle. So with 120 or like 150 degrees, you almost cover like, yeah, like 270 degrees or like, yeah. And then you basically connect these on the top part, and then you have like two jobbies. They also come with that. They're gonna put them on in a minute, and I definitely want to try that, because it's like a good all around the antenna. You can put it in your backpack. You can see there's like, it doesn't need a lot of space, and you have like a patch antenna and two Omni, so you can go a couple of kilometers in front of you, but you can still fly around you because you have like these chubby antennas. So I think I'm super stoked to test them. Okay, you literally can see it's minus 1 degree Celsius, and we're shooting now for like 5 hours outside. Crashing more and more. Okay, quick words. I got these crystal antennas by iFlight. They actually sent me these to test them. I'm really stoked, because look at how small this entire antenna setup is. You have two patch antennas on the top, which has basically the same size like the stock part from DJI. So you can just remove it with these two screws. You can basically fix like the patch antennas on the top, and then you have like two jobbies on the bottom, and it fits perfectly in your camera bag. It doesn't need a lot of space, and you can just take it out and fly. And to be honest, if you have like conditions like now with the fog, with the sun, sometimes you're in a rush and you want to set up the drone quickly, so this can save you a couple of minutes. Yeah, so I will test these the first time. It's left-hand polarized, and for the 7-inch drone we're gonna use, it's also like left-hand because it's stock DJI. So I'm super curious. So one of the suggestions I have, and this is basically for all the drones, is try to use 2 battery straps, because I had it before that one got loose in the air. Because if you go like really fast and you have a lot of like forces going on the battery, on the weight, if you do flips and fast maneuvers, if one breaks, the battery is going to fall out, and if you have two, you're just on the safer side. So let's see that the battery stripe is not touching the flight controller, because that could have an influence on the flight behavior. That's the first time I'm testing actually a 7-inch drone. So now back here with the so light, this setup. So everyone is asking, are you flying 7-inch? Look at the difference. So all the drone flights I did, all the long range was on a 5-inch, with like choosing the right components, choosing the right motors, the right props, and of course how you fly. And that's actually the first time I'm trying out the 7-inch. It's like massive and maybe almost too big for some trips. But definitely worth it to check that drone out. I can fly even farther with that. It's getting dark now. So maybe one hint from my side. So if you purchase one of these iFly drones and they have a GPS, and you try to arm, the props don't start spinning. That's because it searches first for like 8 satellites. I basically disabled that to speed up the process. Damn, it's so cold. Holy shit. I would go a little bit back just in case. Ah. It's like flying a Cadillac. Holy moly. Alright, what I can see already, the props are really big, so they can shuffle a lot of air. And if you accelerate, it uses so much power. Yeah, you can do flips without a problem. So I definitely can feel a difference to 5-inch. You can really feel that it's less responsive, and that's not just because of the rates, because I have the same rates. So it's less responsive. It's pretty good tuned, I would say. I think I can still tweak some of the parameters to get it even better tuned, but I think for out of the box, it's really good. Of course, accelerate is not as fast as with a 5-inch, but it's pretty okay. You can do almost a little freestyle. Front flip works all smooth. It flies really good, I have to say. Alright, I'm gonna land it now.
Yep. Down.
So what I can feel on that quad, I have here the, first of all, it's like, let's plug it out first, safety first. So I have the 1300 kV motors. I mean, before we were flying 1700, and that's already, I would say, quite low kV. So definitely not for racing, like more for efficiency. And this one has 1300 kV, and it's a really wide and bigger motor. So I can feel that this is more like for cruising. This is not like for doing like fast sprints or like racing. They also have a different version, like the 1800, and you can still fly far and efficient with these, and they probably have more power. And of course the 1300s give you a little bit longer flight time. So it really depends on what kind of like shot you want to get. I have to say, I'm pretty surprised. I think it has a good stock tune on it. I will still have to tweak it more. There's still some, like, I would say, some of the pitch parameter which can be changed to make it even more smoother. I changed basically the rates and also put my rates in the description to get really a smooth flying behavior, and I changed these. So yeah, first experience with 7-inch, it's different. It's much bigger, much heavier, less responsive, that's for sure. But I think I will definitely see like the beauty and the sweet spot when I try to push it for some long range, like 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers. Let's see how far I can get.